Hello. Welcome to Octopath Traveler Cyrus story. I'm philosoraptor42, and I've got Lori D. Bunnykins here with me to give you the commentary while I'm focusing on the run.
Hello. This is a really fun game, so...
Yep.
I guess...
Thanks for all the good lucks.
Yeah, you'll need it for Cyrus. Cyrus has some luck in it that is fun, which, actually, I have a question. Before you start, I actually wasn't too aware you played this game much before I saw the games list. Have you played any other characters, or what made you like Cyrus the most in terms of the run?
Actually, a couple of things. I like Cyrus's character. I've obviously played this casually a little bit, and I like Cyrus's character and some of the stuff he does. And then when I decided I wanted to try learning one of the single story routes, the best notes for it were his, which made it.
Oh yeah. There are a lot of notes for this game that are kind of there's a type of note style in this game made by one of the game's mods that's you kind of have to understand the game, do a run or two to read it. But once you do that, you can understand any notes fairly easily.
And there was very beginner-friendly notes for Cyrus stories, so I started there.
Which is good, because I really Cyrus isn't even the most beginner-friendly of the routes. But he's a lot of fun. So, Good luck!
Thank you. So we'll go ahead and get going here in 3, 2, 1, go.
Also, hi, I'm definitely Keishira. Could I have a quick second to read out a donation?
Go for it.
Yeah. So we have 15... Oh, sorry?
I was going to say, this game has a skip cutscene feature, so whenever there's a cutscene, we have just free time.
That's excellent. So we got $15 from Sylvia S7 saying, "Let's go, ladies. Gotta get you to RPG Limit Break." And thank you so very much for that.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of donations, hate to, plug me at the beginning of the run, but right after the Cyrus run, another character is going to be run that you can donate towards. So, if you have a character you like, you want to get your donations in right now, before it's too late. Cyrus's introduction is pretty fun. You want to talk about that, Phil?
Yeah. You go around and you do some stuff. You scrutinize people, Mm-hmm. It's a good time. You're solving a mystery, basically, at this point. And, spoiler alert, here's the villain. So we're just going to go back to him later.
Yeah, each character has what's called a path action, where they can do something involving characters on the overworld. For Cyrus, it's scrutinize, which lets them basically interrogate somebody, and you can get information out of it. For the most part, we like to use it to find hidden items on the overworld. But in the story, you can also use it to have to do things.
And now we get to solve a mystery. The headmaster and the guard have a key each. The guard's is the one that got used, because the headmaster showed us his, and it was dusty or something.
Yeah.
So Russell's the culprit because of reasons.
I like reasons.
Yeah. Well, Russell is just the one with the most motive. This game is in ye old times, I guess you could say. So there's not a lot of we can't do a lot of fingerprint analysis, which, I mean, if you're going against Edgeworth, it means the autopsy report can't be updated. Oh goodness.
Oh my goodness.
You're my new hero.
I mean,
objection.
I guess the mystery style is more like the other mystery game I played recently was Danganronpa, which is where you just scream at each other until the case gets solved.
I thought that was Phoenix Wright. I don't understand.
Well, okay. Phoenix Wright is just screaming with science. Danganronpa, you have no science.
Oh, it's just plain screaming. I may have to try this. I love screaming.
It's very... I mean, I'd recommend Danganronpa. I'd just say it has a lot of things in it. There's a lot going on. Speaking of stuff going on, we're finally getting into battles in the first dungeon. So, when it comes to battles, there's breaking and boosting, which, if you're familiar with Bravely Default, you might also know about. Basically, enemies have weaknesses. If you hit them with their weaknesses, they lose a shield point. When they're out of shield points, they break. Every turn you don't use a boost point, you get another boost point, and you can use those boost points to strengthen your attacks. So it's a somewhat involved battle system. We only have one character right now, so it's not very involved, but you can see it in action at least.
So I'm trying to get level 3 and 15 job points, so I gotta get one more encounter, which is why I was just running in circles there. Oh, surprise attack, how fun.
Oh yeah, that's another mechanic. You can either surprise your enemies, or get surprised by your enemies. One of them is less cool than the other.
Getting surprised by your enemies is the cool one, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Well, fun fact. I'd like to share a fun fact. There is a chapter in this game where enemies start by being asleep as soon as you enter the fight, and it's possible for those enemies to surprise you.
Oh, wow. So here we'll be seeing a lot of BP abuse.
The first boss here, Russell, not only introduces what boss fights look like, which I love the style of the boss fights in this game, but also introduces this game's best feature, ads. Sometimes bosses will have extra enemies with them, and that is the worst thing in the game.
Mm-hmm.
So a big part of this fight can be how many of those bubbles in the back are moving in front of Cyrus on turn 2, and then also how many of them die due to damage ranges. I think one of them is going to live. You said one lived?
Yeah.
I'm a little bit on delay, but I mean, at least one didn't live.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be positive. Yeah, damage ranges are also a thing in this game. You know, every damage can have a range. Every attack can have a range of damages, and sometimes that doesn't work out. It's actually not too big a deal in most routes. In Cyrus, it makes a deal at the very beginning, but I think for the rest of the route, ranges don't really happen. So it's not something you need to worry about. What doesn't have ranges are soul stones, which you saw the use of one earlier in the fight, back when the bubbles were broken. And a soul stone is kind of your normal, hey, it's an item that does magic damage to everything.
And there's Russell.
Nice, yeah. Making good use of boost points makes it really easy to just kind of break bosses really quickly. For physical attack, boosting doesn't quite make your attack stronger. It actually just makes you slap multiple times, which is insanely good for breaking. Funnily enough, you do run the chance of missing in some stories when it comes to the trying to break someone with physical attacks. Funnily enough, in this game, though, I believe magic has perfect accuracy, so magic attacks can't miss. But those are often not as good for breaking when it comes to trying to get rid of shield points, because an enemy being broken is huge, not only in the fact that the enemy can't attack, which is great when we're going to be very under-leveled later in the game, but also in the fact that when an enemy is broken or hit by something that they're weak to, they have lower defense. So it just maximizes the amount of damage you can do even more, which is optimal.
And that's the first chapter of the Cyrus story finished.
Mm-hmm. How long do you think it's going to take for us to get to the second one?
Oh, I don't know. The last time I ran this for a marathon, it took me to the 13-minute mark to get the Whistlewood fight.
Oh boy!
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you
Let's
want to
hope we
talk
don't do
about
that
Whistlewood?
again.
You want to talk about Whistlewood?
All right, so yeah, so one of the things that makes this run kind of friendly is that Cyrus has an ability called evasive maneuvers, and so we try and get that right here, right off the bat. And unfortunately, to do it, we have to venture into a very high-level area and hope we get one of like 3 specific encounters that will give us 100 job points, because it requires us to get 2 abilities learned before we get it, and it's a passive ability we get after learning 2 abilities, which requires us to have 130 job points. This, unfortunately, is not the fight. So we had 30 through Russell. The 15 we got from the combat first, and then Russell gave us another 15. So I learned Lightning Blast.
Yeah.
And so now I need to learn 1 more ability to get Evasive Maneuvers, and that costs 100 job points. So I need to fight something in here that gives me 100 job points, and that last fight wasn't something that was going to do that.
There's a lot of different types of enemies in Whistlewood that have a whole different range of encounters that give different JP based on what enemy you fight. There's one set of enemies that you need to break before killing due to just kind of how much HP they have. No, it's...
no, that's a Kate. I just found a Kate. I think.
Oh, you found a Kate? Okay, well...
Yeah, Light Soulstone, here we go.
Marathon.
That was, 215 job points. Nice, okay. We're good.
Yeah, that's a lot of more good. Kates are kind of like the, I haven't played this game, so if I'm wrong, but the metal slimes of this game?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, cool. So if you manage to kill one, which is very tricky, that is a lot of experience and job points and money. They're optimal, but they're so luck-based, based on purely kind of not game-backed statistics. We think every battle has like a 3% chance to have a Kate. So it's very hard to get them consistently. Some rounds rely on them more than others.
Yeah, now you're going to see why Evasive Maneuvers is so good, as I just transition screen to screen without getting encounters or only getting 1.
Yeah. This game runs on a step counter. Hey, it's a JRPG. So Evasive Maneuvers just puts a multiplier on that step count. And if you'd like to hear a fun little technical fact, as you can see, Phil is running everywhere to move to each part of the map. When you don't have Evasive Maneuvers equipped, running actually ups your step counter faster than walking. However, when you have the ability equipped, running and walking move steps the same way.
And say hi and bye to Rippletide.
Hi. Yeah, Rippletide's a very good town that we're going to need to go to later. That was a move called tagging, where this game has a fast travel system, so if you just enter a town and quickly leave it, you have its fast travel point.
Lame. I got, I think Firestorm will break this thing? Nope, damn, okay.
I believe its weaknesses are Sword, Shield, and, like, Darkness or something.
Okay, so I just need to
I don't
run.
remember.
We'll just run.
Yeah, I mean, you
got that.
you got a Kate, to be fair. So you are pretty high level. Although, that doesn't really matter in this game. Running in this game is actually horrible.
Yeah, it is pretty bad. Get some money there. So I'll be collecting a lot of money in this game, and this route. This route is very much a capitalism the game route, and you're throwing all your money at your problems. And you'll see that once I get set up to do so. And the train is designed to make you get stuck on it. I love it.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I love the terrain.
Alright, say hi to Cobblestone, and then say bye to Cobblestone. Because we're tagging that for later, too, since we're over here.
Mm-hmm.
Just makes sense to do so.
Party members, there are 8 in this game, however, you can't have all 8 characters in your party at the same time. So, a big part of the route is knowing what party members are good for specific things. Which means we can get, some routes, or some characters are actually more common than others. For example, a little bit of a spoil for this run, but Tressa appears in all 8 single-story routes. Meanwhile, Muffin and Ophelia don't appear in any single-story route other than, obviously, their own.
And we'll see if I make it to Stoneguard without an encounter. Yes, we did.
Nice. That's.
I always go the hard route. I've never tried the easy route before.
Which one is
Say
that?
bye to Stoneguard.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, I don't like dip into West Stoneguard Pass and then come back out.
Oh,
I just
yeah.
wait for Stoneguard.
I usually do that too, and it results in deaths because, of course, it does.
I'm pretty good at getting the steps properly. I miss it every once in a while, but...
And that's a big thing that is just something you get by playing the game more, is getting better at movement to minimize the encounters you get is actually pretty big. You've been doing pretty good with encounters so far. There is still a little bit of luck in the step counter, but like a good chunk of the screens, once you get evasive maneuvers, are consistent.
Yeah, I think that encounter I got was not movement error on my part whatsoever.
Yeah, no, the Ripple Tide encounter you got, it kind of sucks, because whenever you're in a marathon, you always want to be like, yo, look at this, like, cool new thing we got to stop encounters, and then you get a set of, like, really long screens that you will sometimes get encounters on due to RNG.
Yeah.
On the step counter, and it's, like, fun.
So here we are in Shrine of the Rune Blade, which... So what secondary job is actually here, because I don't know.
The Rune Lord.
Oh, is that what it's called? Because some of them are aren't quite named the same as the.
Yeah, no, the Rune Lord is here. So this area, the Shrine of the Rune Blade, is actually a stronger area than the danger level in there is higher than that where the final boss of a character's story usually takes place. There are 4 hidden bosses in 4 hidden shrines, and you get a hidden job for beating them. Very hidden. And those 4 hidden jobs are like much better than the base 8. Obviously, because of the difficulty of the bosses that you have to fight in order to get those jobs, you don't see them in single stories. But in full game runs, where that involve usually all 8 stories or a combination of character stories, you will sometimes commonly see those.
So we just picked up Tressa.
There's a run actually dedicated to getting all the jobs, which just kind of shows those 4 big fights in succession, and it's a pretty cool category.
So we got Tressa. Now we're going to finish Tressa's Chapter 1, since you have to get the character for good. And
Yeah.
so this is an encounter we were going to get no matter what. There's too many steps here, so we just break it and run.
Breaking, if every enemy in an encounter is broken, fleeing is guaranteed. So you can either YOLO, try and flee and see if you get out, or you can break an enemy for a guaranteed flee. It usually is a problem in early game if you get into a multi-enemy encounter. It can be a real struggle. Cyrus having AoE magic, though, doesn't come into that problem as often. Although Cyrus also can't break a lot of stuff.
Yeah, that's why evasive maneuvers is awesome, because you hopefully don't have to try and break a lot of stuff. Alright, so we're at the boss of Tressa's Chapter 1 here. Mick and Mac. And, say bye to Mick and Mac. So we just chuck a light soulstone L at him and call it a day. Yeah, press F to pay respects to Mick and Mac.
Yeah, when we went over to that Runeblade Shrine, that was like level 50, we got a lot of not early game items. And then we did early game.
Yeah,
that's
I also got 50 grand, which will be nice later.
That's the thing that happens in Octopath, is a lot of this run is trying to go to late game early, kind of minimize early game, because as soon as you finish your first character's first chapter, the game becomes essentially open world. The only thing stopping you is the inability to get to areas because you keep dying to encounters in that area, and with evasive maneuvers, you don't get into encounters in areas, hopefully, which allows you to go anywhere you want.
Oops, I didn't mean to talk to her. Purchase. That's what I wanted to do. Alright. So there, I scrutinized that woman, which unlocked a Thunder Soulstone L that I picked up there, and then I bought a Thunder Soulstone M from her, so for later. And now we're gonna grab Ulbrich from Cobblestone. And do his chapter 1 real quick. So Ulbrich is a warrior. The warrior skill that you can, the secondary skill you can use is like basically he just fights people, duels them, and it's not going to be something we'll ever see in the run.
Yeah, it has its uses in some places, but unfortunately it's gated by being what's referred to as a noble skill, which I guess I could go into now. There are two types of skills in this game, or not skills, but path actions in this game, which are the noble path actions and the rogue path actions. So Ulbrich is a noble character, so his ability to challenge is considered a noble path action, which means he can't do it on opponents unless he's a specific level. However, if you're to do it with an opponent, you know, nothing bad will come out of it ever, essentially. I mean, there's a little bit of exception, and the shopping mechanic is a little bit different. Rogue characters are easy to explain. They can do their path action on any character in the game, however, it's percentage-based, and the more levels you get, the higher that percentage gets to make it more likely. And if you fail, you start to lose reputation. And if you lose all your reputation in a town, you can't do any path actions there unless you pay money to the tavern keeper or go to reload a save from before you lost your reputation. Oh, by the way, that was a boss named Gaston. We are not going to pay attention to Ulbrich's story anymore.
Yeah, and speaking of what Laurie was just talking about, that comes into play kind of big time later, because I have to scrutinize somebody with a 36% chance, and I have failed it enough times to not be able to do it anymore.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
That brings me to another very good thing about this game, that if you're worried, if you think you want to run it, but you're a little bit worried about the run being too difficult, every time you go into a loading zone in this game, the game saves.
Yeah.
So
Autosave will save your bacon quite often. Yeah.
Autosave basically every screen transition, and if you die and press return to last save, it'll return you to your autosave if that was your last save. So...
Which you saw me do a little bit in Whistlewood because my first encounter wasn't a good one, so I had to do it there. But, yeah.
The only unfortunate thing about it is, like, it puts you right in front of the loading zone instead of in the screen that you were loading into, but, like, I'd rather have that than no autosaves.
Say hi and bye to Sunshade.
Yeah, we're not even gonna get the character in Sunshade.
Yeah, that is literally there just to tag for convenient travel later. We won't actually ever do anything in Sunshade.
Mm-hmm. And that's the thing in Octopath. You need to fast travel a lot in order to go as fast as you can. There is actually a character or a route of Cyrus that gets the character in Sunshade. I would not force it on anybody, even my worst enemy.
I would never recommend it for Marathon either. It's very unsafe.
Yeah. For those that have played Pokemon, if you know what the move Metronome is, imagine trying to get a certain Metronome result in a
Pretty
run.
much.
That's what the fastest Cyrus route does.
I got RNG'd on this. Got an encounter. I think my movement was pretty good.
That is a screen that encounters happen somewhat.
I've gotten through it without before. It doesn't happen super often.
Yeah. At least you got the good flea.
Yeah.
So it really didn't cost too much. I think if you get a YOLO flea like that, where you just get it perfectly, it's like 7 seconds gone, which is like whatever.
Right. Now we're going to head over to Quarry Crest, which is where Cyrus and Tressa Chapter 2 take place, so you have to kind of make sure you're paying attention when you go in. And it's just to basically... We're here to basically just to collect some stuff, but it's convenient to go ahead and just start Cyrus Chapter 2 while we're here.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to do that. Because we're not nearly ready to finish it.
Yeah. Well, there's still one more character we want. There's still a lot more items we want and skills. There's one major skill that we haven't even talked about yet because it hasn't been used yet, but it's the most important skill in the run.
Oh, good old hired help.
Yes.
Which is where the money, throwing the money at your problems comes into play.
This game is pay to win.
Literally.
You do have to buy the game to play it.
So we came here for this Wind Soulstone M here, and since it was in her house and she's part of Cyrus Chapter 2, why not do that too?
Mm-hmm.
And then this guy here, we're going to buy his Thunder Soulstone M and his Thunder Soulstone L, and then just finish like the investigation part of Cyrus Chapter 2 and then leave. So then we scrutinize him, and then we do our deductions here. So we're going to say that this happens near the inn, at all hours of the day, and it has something to do with the sewers. And there. Now we're actually ready to finish Cyrus Chapter 2, but ain't going to happen right now. So we're going to head out.
Mm-hmm. I think I have a 2-minute highlight of me talking about the story in that chapter during a marathon run, where I said, guy kidnapping people and throwing them into the sewers. I said that phrase like 20 times.
Oh gosh.
Because that's what happens, really.
Yes. He's
Is
just stealing people.
That person with the Wind Soulstone in their house, you go to visit them because they know about books. This chapter has this character has a story. He's looking for books because they got stolen. He's looking for one book because it got stolen.
Oh.
And he's like, my friend knows about books, and he goes to his friend, and his friend is like, yo, there are people being kidnapped in my town. Can you do something about that? Very on task.
I got the encounter I don't like getting in the North Boulder Fall area. And I'm not running. As is per usual.
Mm-hmm. This is another random, fortunate, fun fact, but when you talk to a new character to get them in your party for the first time, it auto-heals everyone in your party.
Which is a good thing, because I just took a little bit of damage.
At least it should. I could be wrong.
But really, I mean, the next boss isn't going to do enough damage to matter anyway.
Yeah,
I didn't take a lot.
You did get out of there. There's a little thingy in this game involving running where if you keep spamming run, your chances will go up every every turn in succession. So by the time, if you run and you fail 3 times, the 4th turn that you try and run, it'll be like a 1 in 1,000 chance to fail the run. And at that point, if you're alive for turn 5, you're guaranteed.
Oh, nice.
So a lot of the time, if you get into a bad encounter, it's sometimes good to just try and live to turn 4.
Oh. My controller thought left was down for a second there for some reason.
Are you
And it
playing
likes to
on
think up is left for some reason a lot, too. Alright, you can explain this one, what I'm doing here.
So we mentioned autosaves earlier. This game runs on a step counter, and that step counter usually resets every time you enter a new screen. The main reason for this is because the data of the room changes. There are two things to keep in mind in a screen, and that is its name and its danger level. However, mansion-type dungeons are one of the dungeon types in this game, and mansion-type dungeons are always split up into two screens, and those two screens share an identical name and danger level, and because of that, screen transitions in mansion dungeons do not reset the step counter like every other screen transition in the game does. So to guarantee not getting an encounter, Phil quits to the menu and loads the autosave right after getting it in the middle of the dungeon, because quitting and reloading the game does reset the step counter regardless of what screen you're on. And because of that, we can reach Heathcote without a single encounter in the mansion, and that's good because at this point in the game, we have 4 characters with us, so all the Chapter 1 areas are scaling up in difficulty. So running just gets harder and harder.
Yeah, and you'll see that trick a couple more times, but I'll be manual saving in those other 2 times instead of just using the autosave. And one of them will actually be coming up.
Yeah.
Pretty shortly. And so don't fear, everybody. That was the last boss that just gets cheesed with soul stones. Now you'll actually see some technique.
Okay, well, the next boss you're not.
Well, I mean, we throw money at the next boss. It's different.
I mean, yeah, we use a different strategy for the next boss. I would hardly call the next boss technique.
Okay, fine.
I'm just trying to ruin your life. It's fine. Although my favorite thing in the game can happen on the boss. I'll get to that later.
So we're kind of getting ourselves prepped for the rest of the run here. We're collecting a bunch of stuff we need.
Mm-hmm.
So there's not going to be a boss fight for a little bit. It's going to be running around and getting to places. There's going to be some screens that are going to be tricky. Yeah.
Right now, you're about to pick up Hunter Shrine?
Yep, I just walked in now.
So, I mentioned job shrines earlier in the run. I mentioned hidden job shrines. I didn't mention super basic job shrines. There are shrines that you can just walk into, get a job, and walk out. The 8 jobs in this game that each character has a job hard locked onto them, essentially. However, you can get every other job in the game as a secondary job, and you can use that on any other character. So you can dual class all of your characters to kind of cross them together. And it's pretty nice. Allows some great strategies to happen. It essentially just lets one character learn skills and support skills. And you can mix and match support skills too, which is one of my favorite mechanics in this game casually. So you can teach Tressa, for example, who is locked on Merchant, a bunch of Scholar skills to get Scholar support skills on Tressa.
Oh no!
But then just make her a different class, and she'll still be able to equip Scholar support skill. Also, that sounded... Oh, I see what was not good about that.
I was 2 steps from the save point and got an encounter. Come on.
You also got caught by surprise by the
And caught by surprise. I was just hoping that maybe Cyrus would be able to run, and then I'd be able to save it.
Yeah,
But,
no.
there you go.
The surprise really didn't do you well.
No.
If you know an enemy's weakness, it can usually be easy to break them. In some scenarios, that was not one of the scenarios.
I was gonna say, not when you're in a level 45 area.
And you get caught by surprise. Yeah, it happens.
I thought my movement was pretty on point too. I think I just got unlucky with step RNG. Alright, here we go. Oh my god, really again? Oh my god. And
Any
surprise
chance
attack
I can
again.
a quick donation?
Sure, go for it.
Yep.
I'm totally K-Sure, by the way, just so you know. Anyway, we have a $20 donation from Lore Master Moto saying, here to support the Valkyries and also to get the 3 houses bid where it started out right. Teacher's the canon name, right? Thank you so very much.
Thank you, other me. I sound fabulous.
So Sham, we're not actually literally. It's not like gill toss like samurais in FF5. You'll see. So we're not actually literally throwing our money at people. Okay, I made it this time. Good. So I saved the game manually, and I'm going to reload that save to reset the threat, and then I'll be at the save point, because being at the beginning of the screen doesn't do me any good. Which will allow me to get this copper-filled pouch down here, and then make my way into Duskbarrow, this town over here. Which we're here to tag it, but we are here to do a couple of things. So we're going to talk to this guy, or purchase from this guy, rather, his curious antique. And then move our way over here, get this chest with $30,000 in it, and then move up here and get this chest with a curious antique in it. Now we're done in here, and we're going to go back to Stone Guard. And so now we're actually going to make our way back to the screen with that Runeblade shrine that we were at earlier. And we're going to go a slightly different, more dangerous way. And get into a different area to collect some more items and money.
Speaking of money, I have a $50 donation from Sanjan that says, Wagaken! Thank you very much.
Oh no. I know who that is. I know who that... Oh no.
I didn't hear what it was.
Wagaken! Wagaken.
Hold
My
on.
sword.
That's not the full quote.
So this time we're going to come down this way and snatch up this silver-filled pouch off the ground in the treasure chest. Then we're going to stop running as we get to the bridge, or the end of the bridge.
You
so
can
that
donate.
we can be sneaky.
You can donate and I'll
try
say
get
the full
into
code.
here without an
Sorry.
encounter? Yes, cool. Last marathon I got encountered there like 3 times. But I just got encountered a whole bunch in the other screen, so that makes that a wash anyway.
Yeah, so... Everhold Tunnels, this side dungeon is... If I were to describe it, I would say it sucks.
Yep, so now I go up here. Oh my god, I was 1 step away.
Again?
Again.
Yeah, this is a very annoying part that a lot of characters visit in their route.
Wheel. Raptor luck on display for sure. I'm actually surprised that I got that Kate and I wasn't stuck in Whistlewood for like 7 or 8 minutes.
Yeah.
So snatch the pomegranate and then run. So I'm trying to get to this area. I was on that staircase, and what happens is you get to the top of the stairs and it triggers a dialogue box to let you know, hey, there's something bad here. Do you want to actually continue? And then you say
Like a
no.
mini boss.
It's overwhelming. The danger is bad. Do you want to proceed? And I say nope, and that resets the threat.
Yeah, that resets the sub counter. Why? I mean, we take it. Like,
Yeah, we'll take it. We get the knowledge staff, we get the 35 grand, and then we leave. Go back to Stone Guard. We're done with Everhold Tunnels.
yay! Now there's one
And-
more thing we want to do in the Stone Guard area.
And if I don't know if you noticed or not, chat, but every once in a while when I transition screens, Trestle will just find money on the ground. And that's pretty dope.
That is. Shoutouts to Tressa.
And watch as I get encountered on this screen because I can't seem to not very often. Although, yep, there it was. I can break this provided that Cyrus goes before the buffalo and I don't get killed.
Yeah.
Cyrus does not go before the buffalo, which is unfortunate, but
I
you
mean,
can do 2 hits to the bird. And Cyrus got hit, but he's not dead, so that's fine.
probably the Kate coming
And
to
then
help
he
there.
can do 1 to the bird. And of course, Therian goes first.
There
I'll
you
just
can just
play.
kind of vibe.
I'll just use the Firestorm, and Firestorm will break the buffalo. Now everything's broken, so next turn we can just run.
Yeah. In many routes of this game, usually the scholar skills that you get for evasive maneuvers differ based on, what you're going to need for that run in question. So there are some categories that don't have Firestorm there, and it just kind of sucks.
Yeah, one of the things he actually can break. Alright, so here's where we do one more use of that save and then load back to the title screen to reset threat.
This screen, you can technically make it where you want to go without this save, but, it is so rare.
And then what we got here is the Shrine of the Trader, where we learn Merchant as a secondary job. And we're going to make Cyrus a hunter and teach him Arrow Storm. We're going to leave Tressa a merchant, teach her hired help. We're going to make Ulbrich a merchant, teach him hired help. Leave Therian a thief and teach him armor corrosive. And now he's going to go back and actually finish Cyrus Chapter 2 now.
Yeah!
That hired help is the solution to all of life's problems.
So,
February
talk about
22.
hired help. Hired help is an ability that we've joked about, but not explained. Money!
Solves all problems?
Yes, it does.
Yeah. And
To
now
get
that I'm
a
at
little-
Gideon, you're about to see it.
Yeah, to go actually in depth on this ability, because it sure is an ability, it does sets amount of damage. So there are 5 different tiers that all cost different amounts of money in succession. And what you can do is you can pay that money and summon soldiers to fight for you. So there are 5 different tiers, and the highest one is one called Veteran Soldiers, which does, which costs 30,000 leaves. So that's a lot, but since the damage in this with hired help is consistent, it's going to do a lot of damage, as you can see.
That's a lot of damage.
Yeah. This boss isn't even broken. So...
No, I just use armor corrosive to lower his defense some, but it's not broke, yeah.
Yeah. I mentioned earlier the defense difference between a broken and non-broken enemy. A broken enemy has half defense compared to the unbroken enemy. However, if you hit an enemy with their weakness, I think it does... I forget the exact number, either 1.3 or 1.4 times the damage of hitting it with an attack that it's not weak to.
That's
I like
a little bit.
Safety. I like it. So now, much like everything else, you have to try and leave a town to finish a chapter. So we're done with Cyrus Chapter 2. And now we're going to go ahead and head on over to Sunshade, and for its one use in this game, which is for me to leave and go somewhere else. And so that Gideon fight that you saw me just blaze through, if you do the other route that has Primrose instead of Ulbrich, that's the biggest RNG hole in this run.
Yeah, that's where you roll your Wheel of Luck and hope that
Basically,
you get a
Primrose
multiplier.
has this ability called Bewildering Grace that it is basically metronome, if you're familiar with Pokemon, like Lori said earlier.
Mhm.
You use it, and it does something, and it doesn't always do what you want it to do. And you have to get at least job point ×5 out of it in order to progress the fight.
What is the worst option it can land on?
I don't know if there's a definitive worst. I would say there's a combination of stuff that can happen. I'll talk about some singular stuff. You can get your whole entire party to have certain status effects, such as like poison or blindness or silence, which are all not fun. You can have certain characters. You can have all of like your stats, all of your BP completely drained, which is not fun. You can have an enemy spawn and heal the end of the opponent completely. Oh yeah, your SP can also be completely depleted. And then there's combinations of stuff, like getting silenced and items taken away is a big one, because then you can't use like unsilencing items. My personal favorite, which happened to me several times when I was trying to use Bewildering Grace to grind in this game, was you can get your party barely survived, which is an effect that puts all of your character's HP at 1, followed by the ground exploded, which does a small bit of damage to each character.
Oh
Yeah.
no!
So here's our friend, the guy with a 36% chance to scrutinize, and I'd missed it the first time. Okay,
You have
That's
5
fine.
chances.
and we got it the second try. Not bad.
Nice.
And then I also have to buy stuff from him. I have to buy his medium and large wind soul stones.
Yep.
Now he's done.
So, Bewildering Grace, we've talked about how it's not marathon safe and it's luck based. So what's the alternative? Well, that's why we're in Saints Bridge right now. The major thing that we did with that scrutinize on that guy is we put more gear in the weapons shop. And one of the things we put in the weapons shop as a result is the Empowering Bracelet. The Empowering Bracelet is big because it allows you, it's an equipable accessory, so there are 2 accessory slots each character has on top of, like, you know, the basic armor, shield, stuff like that. And for accessories, you can have 2, and they have a bunch of different effects. Empowering Bracelets give the character that equipped it 500 max HP, and each character can equip 2. So by buying 8 right here, and then by unlocking them with the guy we scrutinized, and then equipping them on every character just kind of suddenly has an extra 1000 HP. That's helpful.
So now we're also going to go in and we're going to finish off some stuff here. We're going to give our boy Cyrus leg hold trap, and then we're going to give Ulbrich insight, and 1,000 spears out of the warrior tree, and sidestep out of the merchant tree, and that's going to unlock some secondary skills. Cyrus will get heightened senses, and then Ulbrich will get endless items and cover. Endless items is cool, but not something we need to have ever happen in this run, thankfully.
Yeah, it's nice to have. And I guess I can go into actually what Bewildering Grace would do, because it seems like 1,000 HP is kind of hard to ignore, especially because I mentioned this is what skipped. So we mentioned support skills in the run. There's actually an alternative to JP ×5, which is EXP ×100. I think you level up to not need the bracelets. But that's
gotcha.
even more rare. But what you do with the JP is you learn a merchant support skill called Hang Tough, which is, going back to Pokemon analogies, a focus sash.
Yep, it's guts basically. If you take mortal damage, you live with like 1 HP.
I think that's sturdy.
What's that?
I think that's sturdy you're talking about.
Well, guts it's called guts in like RPGs a lot of times.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like Breath of Fire.
Oh, okay. Hi, I play RPGs.
Hi, I play RPGs. I'm Kay.
Hi. You're the real K?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's me.
The real Keishura is here.
Yay! After all this time. We had a lot of imposters.
So now we're just working through Cyrus Chapter 3 at this point in Stoneguard, finally. We're finally doing our thing in Stoneguard. So we're now doing the investigation part. We're saying his daughter, and he was making money translating a book. And that gets us where we need to go through Chapter 3 here. I also picked up a Fire Soulstone L off of a person that was selling one. And now when I go here, there's going to be another person selling a light and a shadow Soulstone L, which is this guy here. We're going to go ahead and buy those too.
Mm-hmm.
Then we're going to go up here. And hey, you might not remember her, but she was at the very beginning of the game.
She is the assistant of the headmaster.
The headmaster of the academy. And now we're in a dungeon.
Now we're in the cellar. Don't forget the bone.
Don't forget to what?
Don't forget the bone.
Oh. And then there's Therese, who saves us. Therese kind of really likes Cyrus.
Yeah. So you saw there was a chest when we were in that little like prison cell type thing. That has a bone in it that sells for 1 leaf. Fun fact: there is a Steam achievement, I believe, for this game that requires opening every chest in the game, and that is the only chest in the game that you can get locked out of. If you don't get that bone in that chest the first time you go through this area, you can't get it. You have to start a new file to get back to...
And I got an encounter Yvonne Cellar somehow. That's fun.
This area is great. That looked like really bad step RNG, honestly. Like, you got it somewhat early, too.
I mean, my controller did wig out on me a little bit, to be fair, and I started, like, running, like, left and right when I was holding down.
Are you using a Pro Controller D-pad?
Yeah, I'm using the D-pad on my 8-bit Do.
Oh, okay. Because I know the Pro
just
Controller
as bad,
has a
really.
funny D-pad.
I wish these guys would stop doing status effects and just kill me already so I could start this over. Thank you.
Oh yeah, that's the status effect I didn't mention earlier, but it's actually horrible. Tressa there is horrified or terrified. She's scared. When you're scared, you can't use BP. Isn't that fun?
But even though, like, my movement's really good right now, and also hopefully I won't get an encounter this time. Okay, good. So I'm going to save my game here, and it's not to reset anything, it's because this boss sucks.
Yes.
If we can't
This
use
boss is the
BP,
other big RNG hole.
How will we fill up the gas?
So here we go. This is Headmaster Yvonne, our boss. So we'll see how this goes. And I don't like when Therian goes first, unfortunately, but here we are.
You guys like luck in your speed games?
So that's already bad. So we don't want to see Tornado at all.
No.
We want them all three to attack, and we want them all three to attack different people.
Yeah, otherwise you'll have a character die like that, and that is, like, the worst.
So the only like so this is basically why, like, this fight is, if anybody dies turn one, you pretty much there's only a couple of times where you're gonna actually still be able to.
Oh yeah, it's like literally a 1 in a million chance of surviving.
Basically,
if
the first person that goes is either Cyrus, Tressa, or Ulbrich, and then they die, you can recover it. But that's about it.
Yeah, no. 99% of the time, though, when it comes to... Or not even 99... I'd say maybe straight up 100% of the time you see Tornado, you might as well just, like...
Yeah.
Ugh.
That's what happens.
One thing that we can do to mitigate a little bit of the luck that's in this fight, Ulbrich's warrior support skill, Cover. Which will, when an enemy is in critical health or at low health, Ulbrich will take damage for them. Which can be helpful if somebody gets double targeted, but that also means that if anyone attacks Ulbrich, because I believe Ulbrich will sacrifice himself.
Yeah, Ulbrich
Did
can
you
also
use that one?
survive 2 hits as long as it's both the ads. So so here's Hired Help Bandit. It doesn't cost nearly as much. This will do 2 shield breaks to the ad. So
Yeah.
now if Tressa were to die, I could actually still do this fight.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, one of the ads critted Ulbrich.
Oh,
Fun.
oh,
So this isn't gonna work now. I'm gonna have to just... If Tressa had died, I'd been fine, but Tressa didn't die. Ulbrich died. I needed Ulbrich
Yeah.
to live.
This is a fun fight. I've done this run in a marathon before. It was great. We chilled. We got
I mean,
killed.
I'll still make estimate, don't worry. But like,
Oh yeah, no, for sure. I think I had a 110 estimate in that marathon, and I still made estimate. This is
Well,
a very,
thanks to
very safe
Whistle
estimate.
wouldn't
This is a
last
very
when I won
safe
10.
estimate, and you've been doing pretty good so far.
Alright, Yvonne. Behave this time.
Something tells me that
behave.
he's
Alright,
not
let's see what
going
we
to
got.
behave.
We got this nerd first again, okay. Tressa's the second one, so Tressa will get that. Alright, come on. Okay, Ulbrich's fine. Okay, that's fine. Oh, beauty! Oh no, actually this isn't gonna work. This isn't gonna be as beautiful as I thought. Because it's still gonna get to go! Because it was Therian that went first. Okay, we're fine. Okay, good. We're okay now. Defend. Oh, I made a mistake. Whoops.
Oh no,
That's bad.
that's no good. Right after you got the fight right, too!
Yeah. Whoops. Let's see. See if there's any way I can pull this off somehow. Okay. She's still gonna go before him, we might be okay. Although I don't know what I'm supposed to do with him now. So he would have been actually just using the plum. Oh, crud. That's not gonna be good. I actually might be okay. Let me see. Not the plum. Pomegranate on her. Might be okay. Hired help dancer. Oh wait, I was supposed to. Oh, I'm an idiot. Okay, I might have just really messed this up. We'll see. Cyrus has a turn where he doesn't really have to do anything, so maybe I'll just use that to do the last Soulstone hit. Oh, wow. That. Oh. Never mind, because now a whole bunch of people are dead. Yeah, I messed that one up. I messed that one up bad. I don't know why I messed that one up that bad. I got distracted and didn't remember which person I already had pomegranated. Thank you for killing me. Alright, we'll see if I get lucky a second time. My bad, guys. And
I
gals
believe.
and others. I apologize for making dumb a mistake when I actually had it.
It's okay.
It's a marathon.
We believe in you.
Alright, I'm gonna do
So-
it. As long as he cooperates this time, it's happening. Okay. Him first, that's cool. He's gonna bandit. So now he can... Since the game likes killing Ulbrich so much, now you can do it, and I can still do it. Alright, Cyrus took a hit. Alright, Ulbrich took a hit. Okay, we're fine. See? He cooperated, we're good. So now Pomegranate L on Tressa. Tressa to defend for next turn. Cyrus with the Lightning Blast to break the twins over here. Alright. Now Tressa is going to Dancer to break Yvonne. There we go. And now everybody Soul Stones. And this will get rid of the ads. And so now she is going to hired help veteran soldier. No, not veteran soldier. My bad. He's going to collect. That's what she's doing. I almost messed that up again. He is going to armor corrosive. He's going to use the energizing pomegranate M on Tressa. And he's just going to attack. There we go. That's better. So now he's going to come back, and he's going to use his turn to buff his shield to 5. Scary. So we're just going to hit him 4 times with the staff. With Cyrus. She is going to defend. Wait, no. Yes, that's right. He is going to use Wildfire to break Yvonne again. And Olbrich is going to defend. And now that Olbrich and Tressa have 4 BP, time to bring out the vets! And spend another 60k.
Boom!
And there's Yvonne. F to pay respects to Yvonne.
Do we have to?
And now we're done with Cyrus Chapter 3. As soon as we leave town. There we go. So now we got a little bit more stuff to do, because we got job points. So we're going to go in here to teach old Therian Shackle Foe and Steel SP. We can give him 2 support skills, which we're going to give him Incidental Attack and Fleetfoot. And now that we're done with that, now we're going to go all the way up here to Dusk Barrow. We're going to go back there, because that's where Chapter 4 is.
Phil, I have a question.
Chapter. Yep.
Who is your favorite character in the whole game?
My favorite character in the whole game?
Yep.
Ooh. That is a good question. Cyrus is like, I don't know, I like the whole scrutinize thing that Cyrus does, and his whole scholar shtick is pretty cool, but I also like, because Tressa's kind of fiery. I like Tressa too. She doesn't take anything from anybody. That's pretty cool.
Nice. I'll ask Lori whenever they get back.
So we're coming down here. We're gonna get $50,000 out of that chest. That was the whole reason to come down here. And then we're going to come up here and get $20,000 out of that chest. You probably can guess why. So we just got that cutscene skip there. And then we're going to come into this big old doorway. Full of light. And it's going to bring us to another nice room in these ruins. And we're going to grab this healing great bunch out of this chest. And then this large energizing pomegranate. And now look! Surprise library in the ruins.
Library?
In the ruins? It's ruined.
But we don't have time for that right now. We gotta get this Ice Soulstone Elf from here. And then we gotta go this way. And then I'm gonna save the game, and again, not because of threat or anything, but this boss, while not as big of a butt as Yvonne, can actually kill me right away, if it wants to.
It can kill on turn 1, if you get a bad turn order. However, after that, unless you're like insanely unlucky,
it's fine.
It will usually work out.
So as long as no crits happen, we should be alright. Okay, so Therian's going to actually start off by shackling her. What this is going to do is actually debuff her attack strength. So now when she swings at everybody right here... Oh, and then he took a pot shot at her, which is nice too. So now when everybody gets swung at right there, they don't die. And so... the one little bit of damage for now that old Olbrich's going to do here, and it's not even really for damage, it's for breaking that massive shield, is those 1,000 spears. Cyrus is going to lead off with Leg Hold Trap, which is going to make her go last for 4 turns,
Yeah.
which can be helpful.
Also, I should mention, Thousand Spears is advertised as one of those little.
Whoops.
Ooh, it can hit a lot, but it might not. So press your luck. Right?
Right.
It's always
So we're
guaranteed though to hit at least 3 times.
And then Cyrus has Rain of Arrows, which is the hunter version of that.
Yeah, it's just with it instead of being a spear, it's a bow. So those are big proponents in this fight, because having at least 3 shield breaks without using any DP on a character, and for Cyrus at least, low SP costs, the character that's actually going to be using SP, and being a scholar, Cyrus already has a lot of SP to start, it's very good. This fight is very weird how it's actually possible, which brings in a fun fact. This fight is completely scripted. The way, this fight is kind of insane. We go 6 or 7 turns taking damage with her attacking every turn. And we only managed to get away with this because the order of which attacks this character does is completely scripted in order, the same every time. So as long as you do the same actions and you get through turn 1, this fight is essentially the same every time. The variation in Rain of Arrow and Thousand Spears hits can change this fight. However, with the strategy that you see set up on Ulbrich right now, this fight is fairly easy. Combination of Insight, a warrior skill that makes a physical attack always target a specific character if it's a single hit attack, and Sidestep, a merchant skill that makes someone guaranteed to dodge a physical attack, allows Ulbrich to bait out Lucia into basically never hitting anybody except for when she does sweep. And due to the combination of the low tier of hired help boosting attack, or boosting physical defense, and Shackle Foe on Therian lowering physical attack on the opponent, we will never die from sweeps, and throughout the run we've been collecting a lot of healing great bunches, which is a full party heal for 900 damage, so this fight is usually not a problem.
As we're coming up to the last stretch here, I just want to remind everybody that it is pretty much your last chance to get your bids in for the Octopath Traveler character storyline.
It's going to be another Octopath run right after this that I'm going to be doing.
And it's going to be hype, and Lori's fate resides within you, people.
So yeah, you have only a few minutes left, because there's a few minutes after the final boss here, where she'll still have to do some stuff. But, so if you don't want Ulbrich to be my run, you have, 5.
Alright, so now we're going to give Tressa more BP again. So now that this turn, she can bring out some more vets. So now we've spent 60 grand on this fight. And now we spent 90 grand on this fight. And there's Lucia. And so now we still have a little bit to do. We gotta come back to the library and actually do stuff in the library here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, scrutinize this book right here. Scrutinize this book right here. And now Lucia actually dropped a book earlier when we killed her.
And that's the book we've been looking for the whole time.
Yep, that's all of what Cyrus has been looking for, his whole storyline. Is the book Lucia's got that she dropped right here. We're going to scrutinize that. And then we're going to fast travel back to Duskbarrow, because where we got to go, we can only get there without getting an encounter from Duskbarrow. And not from where we just were.
Yeah.
Alright, and now we gotta scrutinize the mural on the wall here. And now we gotta play detective once more.
Yep.
And we gotta say, sealed power away, blah blah blah. Power of life and death. And it's a warning, and that's time.
GG.
And here's your credits. So thanks everybody. I hope you enjoyed the Cyrus story. So now we've got Lori, who's gonna do whatever story y'all donated for.
I
So I
do
hope you
not
enjoyed.
see any
Thanks for
additional
watching.
donations for that. Thank you so much, Phil, for being here and running that.
That was a great run. Cyrus can be tricky to show off in a marathon because some of the luck-based bosses that really you can't do anything except for pray. So that was a really good showcase of that. That's hype. For a reason I will talk about.
Just to let everybody know, there are some additional goals in Bid Wars coming up. As for Bid Wars, we have the Final Fantasy I PSP named the Warriors of Light. The top 4 will be taken, and currently there are 4 names. If you want to get an extra one in there, or you want to buffer some names you like, get in there with your donations now. You also have a chance to name the Dragon Quest XI name character, and to lie or tell the truth to Michelle. You can also choose the language, which is a rolling incentive, so whichever language is in the lead will be the one you get to hear, and there is currently $0 for both Japanese and English, so if you are if you prefer one language or another, please get your donations in there. You are watching... I almost said Speedrun Ragnarok. This is not Speedrun Ragnarok. You are watching RPGs, and this is a fundraising marathon for the purpose of getting the RPG Valkyries to RPG Limit Break this year. All of the donations you have given us so far will be going to things like airfare, accommodations, room and board, food, taxes, anything else we might need, and any leftover funds that we have, we will be donating directly to National Alliance on Mental Illness, NAMI, which is the select charity for RPG Limit Break. We will be coming back soon with Lori D and some more Octopath. Hope you're looking forward to it.